Yeah. Though we know who we are, yet we know not what we may be. So maybe I'm the one, or maybe I'm crazy. I'm from.
Welcome back to your No Malarkey Guide to Machine Learning. I don't really want to call it that because this is, we're just getting our feet wet. But let's get started. So my name is Kalu, and in the last video we were able to install some of the basic libraries and dependencies that we're going to need for this tutorial series. So just to make sure that we got those installed, I'm just starting right where we left off in the last video. You know what? Let me start from the very beginning in case you guys have a fresh new terminal. So open up your terminal, and then cd into desktop, and then you should have a folder called linear regression into there. And then you should, in this folder, if you do ls, you should have another folder called linear regression venv. I want you to use source linear regression venv. By the way, I'm pressing tab. Tab is the button above the caps lock. I'm pressing tab, and if that file exists, if that path exists, it will autocomplete. That's how I type so quickly. So source linear regression bin activate, and once I do that, I've activated inside my virtual environment. Now I just want to press Python, and you can see since we use a Python 3 interpreter, writing Python automatically takes us to Python 3. Since we chose a Python 3 interpreter when we're creating our virtual environment in our last video. So now that we're here, we're just going to make sure that we successfully imported everything, or we successfully installed everything in our last video. So I want to do import pandas as pd, great, imports numpy as np, great, import matplotlib as, let's do matplotlib.pyplot as plt. If all that works, then you successfully pip installed everything. If it didn't work, then just go back to the last video and check to see where you got that wrong, or maybe just start all over. It just takes a few seconds to create a new virtual environment, new folders, and pip install everything else. Alright, so we're going to get started on this project. What are we doing today? What are we going to be working on? So we're going to be working on linear regression. Is the name of the folder it probably gave away. And it's the same thing that you guys were doing in high school. It's really exciting that I'm just going to be refreshing all those great high school memories. I remember I was learning this in a class with Eddie. Eddie, shout out to Eddie. And Dominique, I think, was also in that class. And I think I remember maybe Charday. I'm mixing names. I apologize if I really just butchered your name. But so this is my memories of. I remember just doing it as quick as possible. That way, me and Eddie could speak basketball. And I remember some kids just didn't pay attention at all. And I was like, yo, I want to chuck and jive as well too. But I'm gonna do this as quick as possible and do it so I could get maybe a B. And then afterwards, I'm gonna just chat with my friends. Now I'm looking back, I'm like, man, if I would have really focused on that, that would have made me a lot of money. knowing that basic knowledge can make you a lot of money. So we're gonna try to get people back up on that basic knowledge that we were doing in algebra, and a little bit of statistics as well too. What is the problem? The problem is, imagine that you play for a rec league, you play basketball for a rec league, and you're playing this team, and they have this mystery player who's never played for any of their other team, but they're going to play this game. This mystery player, he used to play in the NBA, so you guys are really worried. The first thing you guys want to know is, how tall is this guy? Like, is he just going to be dunking on all of us, or is he like more of a spot-up guard that, okay, maybe, well, both you really probably can't handle if they played in the NBA. But you just want to know, how tall is this person? So the general guess, if you just want to guess how tall a person is with no other prior information about the person, we don't know anything about this mystery player, a good estimate, a good starting estimate would be the average height of a human being. Maybe the average height of a human being is like 5'5". So that would be a good estimate. You could do a little bit better than that. You could think of a more precise class which this person belongs in. He's not just a human being, he's a male human being. So this will give you a more precise estimate. Maybe the average height of a male is like maybe 5'7" or something like that. I don't know, 5'6". But you can get even more precise, as we know this game. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. So the more important class he belongs to, that is really important, and this skews all our data, is that he belongs to the class of former NBA players, right? So they're taller than the average male. So we really want to get some data on the average NBA player's height. That's a very good place to start with. So in order to get this, let's calculate the average NBA player's height, and that'll be a good guess for how tall this person is. So the first thing we need to do is get a data set for NBA players. Where can we get that? I know exactly the place, don't worry, I got you covered. I'll provide a link in the description, but for now, all you need to do is if your eyes are really good, you can just copy this URL address. Otherwise, I should provide a link in the description for you. So just go to this URL address and you should search NBA. This has a whole bunch of data sets. It's awesome. We're going to click on this CSV and save it. And then we are going to, I'm going to open a new terminal. And in this new terminal, I saved it to my desktop. I'm sorry, not to my desktop, to downloads right here. And the name of it is a download is called NBA_height_weight.ctv. So I'm gonna move that right there, and I'm gonna move it the dot means one directory out, and then go to my desktop and go to that linear regression folder, and I'm gonna move it there. Great. So now that I've done that, I am also going to cd into that linear regression folder, and I'm also going to activate my virtual environment. And remember, I have another terminal window that I opened up that I'm doing this inside of. So in here, I want to do ls, and we can see that we have this NBA_height_WT. So I'm going to try to try to open this, and we can open this using Excel or using Libra, whatever they call it for Ubuntu. I apologize, Ubuntu. I just really disrespected you. I should know the name of your programs, but I don't. So we're going to open this. It's a CSV, and it's going to look just like data sets you've seen before. It's just an Excel spreadsheet with some columns and some rows. Each row represents every NBA player and some of their data, so some specifics about them, specifically their height, their weight, and their age, and the position they play. We're really interested in the height for just now, and it's ordered by height. Nate Robinson being the shortest. He's not in the league anymore, but you can see this from 2013, 2014. So this is the data set. It looks cool, great. That's what we want. We want to import this data set right here though in Python. That's going to allow us to do a lot more with it. So to do that, we want to open it. Let's call it data, and we want to say pd.readcsv.mba, and we're going to just write the name right here, htwtcsv, and then we're going to press enter. We may get an error. Don't freak out. This usually works, but we may get an error. Don't freak out. I'm going to press enter. Ready, set, go. Okay, we got this. This wasn't the error I was expecting. This error says file does not exist. So that's because I wrote it incorrectly. You guys are probably shouting at this TV screen. It's a dot, not an underscore. But it's all good. Let's refresh that and type it again. And I'm gonna press enter. And we get another error. This error is different. This says UTF-8 codecs could not encode. What does this mean? Oh God, this is confusing. Whenever I get confused, we can always search. So I'm just gonna search this right here. And I'm gonna search. We were using Pandas, and we try to. I'm just gonna search. So I copied and pasted this error message, and then I'm just gonna write Pandas, and then paste it, and search and see what I get. So I get this first link right here. It's a stackoverflow.com link, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna click on that link and try to solve this error. And I'm just going through this with you guys so you know how to troubleshoot some errors and you don't freak out. It's not the end of the world. You can almost always search everything. So this guy says to do this. Okay, let me try that. I have no idea what that means, but let's see if that works. That sounds like some crazy talk, but he says to do encoding equals blah blah blah. So it says, oh, it takes an encoding option to deal with files of different formats. Okay, let's try that. So I'm gonna write that, and then after I write the file, I'm gonna write encoding equals, and I'm just gonna copy this here. Copy, and then paste. I paste in the terminal with Control-Shift-V. So once that's pasted, I'm gonna press enter, and it works. So now I'm gonna write data and press enter here, and we can see what our data comprises of. And it's exactly the same thing it was in this Excel sheet. It's all the heights, the weights, and the ages of every NBA player arranged by height, shortest to least. And this height is in inches. Don't be confused. It's just in inches. So next, why don't we just do data.head? We can do data.head, and we can get out some of this information. What is data? Data, let's do type data. Data is a data frame. And we could have called it anything. We could call it NBA info, NBA heights, weights, right? And then we could do type, NBA, height, weight. So it's a data frame. I don't want you to think just because we called it data, it's a data frame. No relationship. It's a data frame. It's a Pandas a data frame, and you don't need to understand what that means more. I'm not going to sit here and give you an exhaustive, elaborative definition, because that does not follow the Clue principle of learning a new method, and that's inductive reasoning, not deductive reasoning. That's doing by examples, many examples, and not doing by learning a whole bunch of rules. And that's a bottom-up process, not a top-down process. So we're not going to first teach you what a data frame is. We're just going to use it, and then we hope that in the process of using it and using it many times, you start to get a more intuitive feeling of what it is. And at that point, you could then look it up. And when you look it up, you have a more of a context of why it's important. So it's a data frame. That's all you need to know. And we're going to use this data because it's shorter to use. So we could do data.head to print out just the top 4 rows. That's great. What we want is the average. So we need to do data.average. Let's do mean. That's more the statistical term. So data.mean, and it gives you the mean heights. So the average height, let's see, 79.6. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to paste this, say, inches to feet. And that is 6 feet 5 inches. Wow. So the average height of the average NBA player is 6 feet 5 inches. We got our answer there. Another thing we can do is just heights equals data right here. And because this column is called heights with a capital H, we can write heights with a capital H. And then heights is now only the columns. And here is just the index number, player number 500. So player number 1 would be, player number 0 would be, of course, Nate Robinson. And number 1 would be Isaiah Thomas, and so on and so on. So, and we can do the same thing we did with heights, with data. We could do heights.mean, and it will tell us again that the average height is 79 inches. So that's a good estimate, but we can do better. In the next video, we're going to do a little bit better, and we're going to talk about what type of estimate this is, how we can do better, how we can use linear regression to make a better estimate of what their height is if we had just any more information about them. So you guys have done a lot. And first, we're just going to visualize this data. So in the next video, we're going to visualize our data. Thank you for your patience. It's going to get better and more exciting. You've already done a lot. Don't start asking too many questions now. Just keep watching the videos. Keep watching the videos. There's a lot more to come. So thank you for your patience. I'll see you with the next video.
Financial freedom, my only hope.